Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back. We'll get started. Om. गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत्। ॐ गणेशाय नमः। ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं। वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्य समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रश्यं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम्। एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नमोस्तु ते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम्. We'll chant the first one and then go to the 14th verse where we need to recap. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Samprapte Sannihite Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dhukrunkarane. We'll go to the 14th verse. If you have the text, right, let me open it. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshah kashayambara bahukruta veshah pashyannapi cha na pashyati mudhah udaranimittam bahukruta veshah. In this shloka attributed there was a sweet scolding to the sannyasins in this shloka, not to focus on external appearances. He called it out as bahukruta veshah, all done for the sake of udaranimittam, for the sake of livelihood. He knows this, pashyannapi cha, even after seeing, na pashyati, does not see this. So, but as grihasthas, we should honor the tradition to honor a sannyasi because it is our dharma. Our red line is to trust but verify, not to fall for any kind of deception. Next one, 15th. Angam galitam palitam undam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vruddho yati gruhitva dandam tadapina munchatyasha pindam. In this verse, we saw a depiction from Totakacharya as to how we fulfill the desires. We are bound, if we fulfill them, we are bound by unfulfilled desires also. Because that asha pindam, that bundle of desires, is not going to go away. The body is shrinking, hair is turning gray, tooth is falling. And we saw many quotes from Taittiriya Upanishad for one unit of joy of human. We saw the quote from Viveka Chudamani of what to talk maxim that we have all the five senses, all this in this verse. In the next one, Agre Vahnihi Prushte Bhanuhu Ratrau Chubuka Samarpita Januhu Karatala Bhikshas Tarutala Vasaha Tadapina Munchatyasha Pashaha. So in the 14th verse, we saw how a pseudo-sannyasin was pointed out. In this verse, it was a sannyasin with minimal needs, minimal comfort, doing his tapascharya, his penance, his sadhana. He has renounced everything. But tadapi na munchati ashavayu. Even then the cords of desire has not gone. If so, what is the use of all this tapascharya? In the next shloka, where we covered it last week, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athava Danam Jnana Vihinah Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena. This was from Sri Subodha. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam. He addressed those who are just busy doing yatras, pilgrimage, from Rishikesh to Kashi and then all the way to Ganga Sagar, etc., etc., Kashi, Rameshwaram. Vrata Paripalanam, doing vratams, austerities. All these are good practices, but Gnana Vihinaha, one who is devoid of this knowledge, Muktim Nabhajati. All these are good deeds to give purity of mind, but not liberation. We saw the quote from Atma Bodha, Bodhonya Sadhanebhyo hi Sakshad Mokshaika Sadhanam Pakasya Varnivatnanam Vina Moksho na Siddhyati. How? Pakasya Varnivat Jnanam. For cooking, fire is the direct means. Knowledge alone is the direct means for liberation. Just like light alone can remove darkness. That was the summary of that shloka. Then the next one also we covered last week. Sura Mandira Taru Mula Nivasaha Shaya Bhutala Majinam Vasaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Kasya Sukam Nakaroti Viragaha. This shloka was by Sureshwaracharya ji. Continuing on a similar theme, Sura Mandira Taru Mula Nivasaha. His dwelling place is the courtyard of a temple. He may take shelter under a tree, Taru Mula. Shaya Bhutalam. He has no bedroom. Ajinam Vasaha. He may wear nothing but deer skin. Tyagaha Sarva Parigraha. Bhogaha. Renouncing the idea of possession and even the thirst for joy. Such a sadhana he is doing. And Sureshwaracharya ji is asking the question, Kasya Sukham na karoti viragaha. To whom will this dispassion not bring happiness? Because he has derived satisfaction within. See, we also analyze that the theme, the reason I recapped from 14th was, this theme started in the 14th description of a pseudo-sannyasi. Okay? With matted locks, different shades of orange robes, not caring even for bare necessities, entertaining mentally a host of desires. mainly to drive the point that renunciation is a state of mind. It is internal. In the 15th verse, he said, you cannot entertain desires and be done. He gave us 3 illustrations, right? In the 15th, you cannot entertain the desires and be done with it, because if you entertain one, there'll be one right behind. We analyze that. In the second illustration, in Shloka 16, exhaust the desires through physical abstinence. That is also not possible. In the third variety, we saw that one who does not indulge in too much sense pursuits, he does not abstain from the world, instead goes on what? Pilgrimages, observances of vows, vratams, gives dhanam. His whole religious life is revolving around ritualism. Such an individual also cannot escape the bondage of desire. So we saw all 3. Then we saw the shloka from Bhartruhari, Vairagya Shatakam, Vairagyameva Abhayam. There is fear in everything else except Vairagya, to reinforce that statement from Sureshwaracharya. Next is where we are going to start today, is the benchmark shloka. A Viragi Purusha, a person of renunciation, is not the one who runs away from his obligatory duty. He maintains the right relationship with the world. A dynamic person performs all his duties with no possessiveness, no kartrutva, no bhoktrutva, meaning no sense of doership, no sense of enjoyership. Bhagavad Gita calls such a person, we saw that, as Sthita Prajna. A man of realization. 2-55. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnastadochyate. He has reached that state of desirelessness, ever reveling and content with his true self. Atmaniyeva Atmana Tushtaha. So today we will elaborate on this shloka in Bhaja Govindam, number 19. Your page number 72 if you are following in the book. Yogarato va bhogarato va Sangarato va sangavihinaha. Yogarato va bhogarato va Sangarato va sangavihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Nandati nandati nandatyeva. Nandati nandati nandatyeva. Together. Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Nandati nandati nandatyeva. This shloka is attributed to Sri Nityananda. This is an often quoted shloka to describe Jivan Mukta Lakshana. First, we will see the basic meaning of this shloka, and then we will get into a more detailed explanation. This shloka is a eulogy of one who has realized Brahman, glorifying the state of Brahman, the one who has awakened to the higher truth. Yogaratova, he is reveling in yoga, union with the Lord. Bhogaratova, he revels in enjoyment. When there is bhoga that comes to him, not that he goes after the bhoga. Sangaratova takes delight in the company of people when he is in a crowd. Sangavihinaha, or bereft of the company, or whether he is in solitude. Yasya, for whom Chittam Ramate Brahmani, the mind is always reveling in Brahman. Nandati, Nandati, Nandatyeva. He delights. He enjoys. He is reveling in that state of fulfillment. We have already gone through this before in our basic Vedanta modules of who is a Jivan Mukta Purusha. Jivan Mukti literally means liberated while living. Jivaneva Muktihi. This is the last topic of Vedanta, or you can consider this as the prayojana, result of studying Vedanta. See, as ignorant people, what do we think? We identify with the conditionings, upadhi, of gross body, subtle body, and causal body. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. For those who are new to these sessions, please go to the Vedanta simplified modules that are posted on the YouTube channel. Get yourself familiar with these terminologies. Just to summarize, when we identify with our gross body, I say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am tall, I am short, etc. Right? Then from a relationship standpoint, I say I am a father, I am a mother, I am wife, husband, brother, sister, and so on. From a work-based identity, I say I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a manager, I am a supervisor, I am a director, etc., etc. It is all become effortless because of our ignorance. So in Tattva Bodha, another text, introductory text written by Shankaracharya ji, he defines Jivan Mukta as Naham Brahmanaha, Na Shudraha, Na Purushaha, Kintu Asangaha, Satchidananda Swarupaha, Prakasha Rupaha. sarvantaryami chidakasha rupaha asmi iti drudha nischayah. Aparoksha gnanavan jivan muktaha. Just like I, as an ignorant person, have identification or a firm notion that I am the body, I am a man, I am a woman. Jivan Mukta Purusha is one who has firm conviction, Drudha Nischaya, that I am Asangaha, I am unattached, Satchidananda Swarupaha. This is effortless awareness for him. This firm conviction comes from where? Comes from the strength of his knowledge. Remember that shloka previously? Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvaha, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. This is that destination shloka. This awareness, this drudha nischaya for a gnani is unbroken, spontaneous, and it is natural for him. He lives only in that general awareness of others, general welfare of others, loka sangraha. Because he, having reached the highest, he has nothing more to gain. Whether he is yogarata, whether he is in meditation, or bhogarata, in enjoyment, whether it is secular or whether it is spiritual, he is equally detached. He has no personal interest in the affairs of the world, no kartrutva, no bhoktrutva, no sense of doership, no sense of enjoyership. That means he has transcended the pairs of opposite. We call it as dvandvas. Heat, cold, shita, ushna, mana, apamana, honor, dishonor. Such a person, he is reveling in Brahmananda. Whether he is Sangarata, when he is with a group of people, or Sangavihinaha, when he is in solitude, in meditation. Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam. This realized master, he is reveling in Brahman. Mundaka Upanishad says, Atma Kridaha, Atmarati Kriyavan. Bhagavad Gita, we already, that shloka, Atmani Atmana Tushtaha. He is sporting with the self, reveling in the self, ever in the service of the world. Nandati, Nandati, Nandatyeva. Jivan Muktananda Lahari, Maune, Mauni. When people are in silence, he is also quiet. Gune, Gunavan. When people are exhibiting their talent, he will also exhibit his talent. Pandite Panditascha. When there are scholars discussing the scriptures, he will also get in. He is always in that absolute bliss. At this phase, the sadhaka has become the siddha. Bandha has become the buddha. See, for example, when you see the life story of saints like Swami Vivekananda, Swami Shankaracharya ji, our Puja Gurudev, Chinmaya ji, they all lived a dynamic life amongst the people, while somebody like Ramana Maharshi lived in solitude, quietude, maunam, seclusion. This clearly goes to show whether they are standing in the Times Square in New York or in a secluded cave in the Himalayas. For them, the whole world is Brahmamayam. That alone is real for them. Nityam. He has got only one job at this phase. What is it? Enjoy the bliss. What is the lesson? What is the takeaway for us in this shloka? This lakshana of Jivan Mukta is the sadhana for the sadhakas. Okay? With that, we will enter the next shloka. This is also an often quoted shloka. Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita Ganga jalalava kanika pita. Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita Ganga jalalava kanika pita. Sakrudapi yena murari samarcha. Sakrudapi yena murari samarcha. Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Bhagavad Gita, together. Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita Ganga jalalava kanika pita. Sakrudapi yena murari samarcha. Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. This shloka is attributed to Sri Anandagiri. Please note that this is not the same Anandagiri who is known as the Tikakara. Meaning, for all the bhashyas that Shankaracharya ji has written, he has written Tika, a sub-commentary. Brevity was his style. Sankshipta. He was so in tune with the Acharya in the Advaita Vedanta circles. If there is no Anandagiri Tika, they consider that the work is not written by Shankaracharya. That is the power of the Shishya here. For example, Shvetashvatara Upanishad is a good example for that. Let us see the simple meaning of this shloka. First, Bhagavad Gita Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the song of the Lord, Narayanena Swayam, given directly by Bhagavan Narayana. Kinchid Adita, even a little, who has studied a little, the one who has studied even a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, note that, oh, I also studied a little bit of Bhagavad Gita. Don't say Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, and say a little bit. Little bit here is from Shankaracharyaji's point of view. You can imagine what he is talking about. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. One who has sipped a drop of Ganga water, Sukrudapi, at least once, Ena, by whom, Murari, Murasyarihi, the enemy of Mura, the Asura, the Rakshasa, the demon. In other words, Lord Krishna. Samarcha, the one who has worshipped Lord Krishna at least once, for that person, Tasya Yamena na charcha. There is no discussion. There is no inquiry with the Lord of Death. See, almost every text in Hindu scripture provides a path to reach the goal, to the truth. Bhaja Govindam also follows this tradition by prescribing 3 spiritual practices in this verse for application at the intellectual level, mental level, and physical level of the human personality. When we literally translate it, it means a study of the Bhagavad Gita, number 1. Number 2, drinking a drop of Ganges water. Number 3, worship of Lord Murari. I am done, right? But the 3 steps suggested have a much deeper import. Let us analyze all 3 of them a little bit. Number 1, the study of the Bhagavad Gita. Not to be taken literally, Gita represents the quintessence of Vedanta, entire Vedanta. Gita Saram Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. It is a Marga Darshaka Grantha, a book of guiding principles for every aspect of life that a seeker needs to know for his or her spiritual unfoldment. It contains the cream of the Upanishads. In one of the Dhyana shlokas, Sri Madhusudana Saraswati describes Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogda Gopalanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat. Upanishads contain the highest philosophy for mankind. And Gita here in this shloka is described as the milk of the Upanishads. They are compared to a cow, and the essence drawn from them is the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Krishna, Gopala Nandana, is the cowherd who has given this essence to Partha. That means all of us, son of Prithu, son of Mother Earth. So in this shloka, studying Bhagavad Gita would imply digesting, understanding the essential truth. So the first discipline prescribed in this shloka is for one's intellect to carefully study the scriptures, study the 18 chapters, which will give us an understanding of the essence of life. What is the ultimate goal of life? And what are the methods by which we can achieve that goal? The second part of this shloka, of the sadhana, suggested in the shloka is Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. Drinking even a drop of Ganga water. What does it suggest? It suggests developing devotion towards that Lord. Ganga Ji is considered to be the most sacred river in India. Ganga Mata was brought down from the heavens. Akasha Ganga, brought down by King Bhagiratha because of his effort. Bhagiratha Prayatna, it is called. That she was coming down, and the only person who could receive this knowledge, Jnana Ganga, was Lord Shiva. He realized this knowledge first, and that is why we call him the Adi Guru. That's why when we say Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So this river Ganga stands for that highest spiritual truth. The location of Akasha Ganga, above in the heavens, that indicates that truth is beyond our intellectual comprehension. We cannot perceive it by our senses. In order to receive this spiritual knowledge, one has to do tapascharya, self-restraint, self-control. That is what Lord Shiva symbolically represents in that Puranic story. Only those who have undergone certain basic disciplines. That's why they call him a disciple, the one who subjects to discipline through regular shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Only he or she will understand this knowledge through the Guru Parampara. That is the idea. Then the third spiritual practice that is suggested in this shloka is worship of Lord Murari, Lord Krishna. The ego is the Mura within us, the Rakshasa, the Asura, the negative tendencies within us. When with that sadhana, what happens when you surrender to the Lord? The ego is diminished. He will make us realize that ego is not my amigo. I have to let it go. This way, I lose my body consciousness with that Krishna consciousness. For such an individual, tasya yamena na charcha. Yama is the lord of death. That means he is the lord of change. See, for one who has understood that I am not the body, through the study of Bhagavad Gita, which gives us Brahma Atma Aikya Bodha, the oneness of Jiva and Brahma. He has understood that Advaitam Amruta Varshinim, that he is immortal. The one who has understood this Gnana through devotion and surrender to the Lord, he is not worried about change, because he knows that only the body is dying. See, all living beings are subject to this change constantly. We are all governed by that principle of change. So the sadhaka here has understood the substratum or the core of our personality is changeless. He is not then victimized by this principle of change. So when the Sannihita Kala comes, he is not worried about that change. Our Puja Gurudev used to say, every body dies, but nobody dies. Now that is the essence of these three sadhanas prescribed by in this verse. So what if this realization or if this knowledge does not happen? Then we will chant the next shloka. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare, krupaya pare pahi murare. Krupaya pare pahi murare. Then again we are back to square one, punarapi jananam. We will see that in the next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrutyorma amrutam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now, I'll open it up for